Bonsuelo, everybody. Okay, there is nothing new here, but you should listen to this and listen to it very carefully. Finding domain and range. Remember, to find the domain and range of a graph, okay, you use a vertical line for domain and a horizontal line for the range, okay? And on a domain, you use a vertical line and move it from left to right. Range, use a horizontal line and move it from bottom to top. That's very important, bottom to top. Okay, so if you take your pencil and you put it on the left-hand side of this graph, the graph is touching the pencil. So our domain starts at negative infinity. And then if we move it to the right, it keeps touching it and it's always touching it. So it goes to positive infinity. Okay, for our range, you put it horizontally at the bottom, your pencil, and move it up. And the first place it touches it is at -3. But since -3 is an asymptote, it doesn't actually touch it at -3, and that's why we use parentheses. And then if you keep moving your pencil up, it goes to positive infinity. Okay, for the next graph, by the way, that's an exponential function, okay? You should recognize that. Okay, the next one is a log function, and again, you should recognize that. So let's take a look at the domain. Put your pencil vertically. It's not touching the graph right now, and it starts touching it at +2, but not including +2 because there's an asymptote there. And then if you keep moving it to the right, it goes all the way to positive infinity. Okay, the range, put your pencil horizontally at the bottom, and we're touching the graph, so that's at negative infinity. And if you move it up, you are always touching the graph, so it goes to positive infinity. Now, what if I give you the equation and ask you to find the domain and range? What you should do is make a quick sketch of the graph. Okay, so let's do that. I'm not going to graph it well. We don't really need to. What are we going to do here? We're going to have a log graph that's going to look like this. Okay, and we're going to shift it 3 to the right and 7 down. Now, remember, a log graph has a vertical, along the y-axis, a vertical asymptote. So when we go 3 to the right, we have to shift it, the asymptote 3 to the right. So if you just take your basic shape and go 3 to the right and 7 down, you get something that looks like this. It's just a log graph. It's base 10. So we know it's going to curve up because its base is greater than 1. Okay, so now let's just use this and find the domain. Okay, put your pencil vertically over on the left. Where's the first place it touches it? At 3, but not including the 3 since there's an asymptote there. And where's the last place it touches it? It just keeps going to the right. Okay, the range, put your pencil horizontally at the bottom and you're touching the graph. And if you go up, you just keep touching the graph. Okay, this is number 4 here. Is going to be an exponential function with a base greater than 1, so it's going to look something like this. And we're going to shift 4 left and 9 up. Okay, so let's sketch that real quickly. Now, it's a horizontal asymptote along the x-axis. So when you shift it 9 up, you've got to go up to 9. So if you take your basic exponential function, you go 4 to the left and 9 up, it's going to look something like this. So domain is going to be negative infinity to positive infinity, and the range will be 9 to positive infinity. Okay, I hope that helps. Again, you don't need to make a real good graph. It's just kind of a sketch. You just need to know what the basic shape is and then any sort of shift. And make sure you shift the asymptote. On a log graph, you have to shift the asymptote if it's a vertical asymptote. If you're going left or right, on the exponential function graph, it's got a horizontal asymptote, so if you go up and down, you have to shift it. All right, that's it. Have a good day, everybody.